There it goes. Okay. I don't know what the fuck. Did that happen? I don't know. Maybe I'll check it later. Not that anybody's watching. It doesn't matter. I'm getting an average of 12 views on these fucking streams. That's okay. I mean, I still think it's worth doing. They'll watch it later. History will, these will be the texts. These will be important texts for future civilizations. They'll see I was right about, most everything. My conjecture about the way we organize our society. In any case, where was I? Before I was so rudely fucking... I guess they're trying to silence me, okay? That was the CIA, clearly. Trying to take me out. They will not silence my truth, okay? We are going to keep fighting. And, I mean, god damn, it feels like we've been in this fight for a long time already. I mean, it's already been 10 fucking years of war. Of info war. Of ideological warfare. We've been full-time employees of the content farm. The content, content fucking, I'm stroking out like Trump on Fox and Friends. He looked okay. I mean, there were clips of him on Fox and Friends. It's a weird fucking show, first of all. For him to be saying, he could care less about uniting America. It's just a weird, because it's like a morning show. It's like him being on that morning show from Saturday Night Live in the 90s. Cherry O'Terry and Will Ferrell. I think people on Fox News want to be on Saturday Night Live so bad. Gut field. They want to be accepted by Hollywood. Yeah, so anyway, Fox and Friends. Yikes. Yeah, so they're already trying to spin it. I mean, they tried to fucking spin it. Yesterday on the air, I read something about the messages they found carved into the bullets, right? That's kind of the thing now that they're... So this is inevitably what we're going to be talking about for my Politico heads out there. I like talking about this stuff. It seems like most people want to avoid talking about it or something. It's our civic duty as citizens engaged in democracy to stay informed and to have opinions and to debate. I don't really know that that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. These debates, so-called, where it's like this kind of viral stunt, face-to-face. I don't know. That's like, that's a fight or something. In any case, we were talking about the bullets and the killer. His dad turned him in. How fucking... A2 Brute. Dad. His dad, I guess, was a former sheriff. And they said, was he a pastor or something like that? Both of his parents are registered Republicans. And I mean, I did say this yesterday, that it was probably a right-wing person. It seems to me like the guy was extremely online, right? Like the shit he carved into the bullets was like all like 4chan shit. It was literally like gamer fucking in-jokes, like extremely... And that's, I mean, that's what's one of the things that's weird about video games is like, even though these people are being extremely antisocial and they're on computers all the time, they feel like they're the cutting edge. You know, like that is where the male culture is. That is where like the subversive, like these phrases he carved into the bullets. One of them was like a key thing from this fucking game, Helldozers or Hellraisers 2 or something. It was a sequel. I'm not familiar with that game. But I do recognize people like that from where I grew up with, because like there are a lot of like extremely activated Second Amendment gun people. Who are like, you can tell they're like brainwashed about it to the point that they're like obsessed with guns. They collect way too many guns. They want like these AR-15s and shit like that. And there's sort of like this blanket propaganda for you know, Christian conservative area like Utah, any rural red area. It's like that's how they brainwash these fucking people. But that's not to say that there aren't tons of people who like have grown up around guns and have used guns and are good with guns, who like are also like not like this dude was, he seemed like a smart guy. You know, he seemed like the Unabomber or like Luigi almost in a way. I mean, Luigi was another guy who was like, I mean, even though Luigi, like, I think was from a different cultural background, clearly, and had sort of a different motive in a way, they're both, like, this guy won some scholarship to fucking some, you know, university in Utah, and he dropped out because blah, blah, blah. I don't know why he dropped out, but, is this, that background just so blown out, it like doesn't even fucking look like anything. Shit, I already walked all the way across the park. I guess we're doing that today. It's okay. We'll do this. This is something different. Not that, I mean, does this, now that I got my extended selfie stick, I'm more like immersed in the world. Maybe I should hold it like this or something. Make it look like a 3D platformer. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so he's like, you know, he came up in this sort of like incredibly blanket conservative ideology, probably listening to fucking Charlie Kirk or, you know, just like all these guys. He's online, he's on 4chan, he's playing stupid fucking online games, probably most of the time. Was he getting laid? Was he not getting laid? Do we know anything about that? He didn't seem, you know, this is the thing. He didn't seem like, because in order to pull something like this off, I feel like you have to be kind of like super capable and like, maybe smart is the wrong word, but proficient. You know, like there was tons of people. I mean, how much conjecture. That's one of the weird things about the news cycle now is like between the moments of finding out real information, there's all this fucking conjecture and all these people jump. That's where the conspiracies grow. Oh my God, it had to have been a professional, right? There's no way a fucking like Hunter could have pulled that shot off, or, you know, supposedly there was a fucking private jet that took off. There were guys signaling. I saw some fucking video. It's like, oh, look at these two guys in the background. They clearly signaled. The one guy adjusts his baseball hat. That means kill. The other guy touches his arm. That means take the shot. It's like it's kind of unbelievable the things that gain traction. I mean, I guess that's always been the case. That's not necessarily anything new. People's imaginations go fucking wild. You have to fill in the story somehow. But, I don't know, like any idiot can commit a mass shooting, and most of them aren't very good at it. Most mass shootings, it's like 3 people killed, 2 killed, 16 injured. It's like, that's the best you could do? Not to, this is extremely dark and like it's a joke, but like, I feel like if you're gonna do a mass shooting, like, it's, you're gonna end your life in this sort of like spree of like needless, impersonal, vague kind of like spray of fucking bullets. Like, fucking like do good, do something good, do something with it. You know, it's just like rather than go and kill a bunch of little fucking kids in a school, it's insane. It's like the thing about this new, and I would consider this guy kind of a, you know, we're living in this weird age of like assassinations. Like it's fucking, I mean, Trump wants to take us back to whatever, 1890 or whatever. And so this is kind of like part of it. Like fucking William McKinley got shot. World War I, right? The guy got shot, whoever it was, Franz Ferdinand. These weird political assassinations. You know, that really hasn't been trending for like, I mean, you know, since the 60s or something, the 80s maybe. I guess in the 80s, Buckwheat got shot. And that guy tried to shoot Reagan, but it doesn't feel like anybody really got shot politically for a while. I don't know, in this country. And now it seems to be like, I think this is, you know, to be honest, I think this is like, you know, the way the Civil War is being fought or something. Like, these are strategic, they're class war in a way. They are like the revolution, I think, in a way. It's like these smart people, frustrated, disillusioned, trapped, you know, there's nothing they have to live for. You know, this guy didn't have any kids. He's just some incel on the fucking internet playing stupid Command and Conquer or whatever. And I think he what did he say? His bullet did have like Bella Ciao on it, which is like a leftist. I mean, there was a fucking restaurant in New York, Bella Ciao. It's this Italian folk song. It's socialist. I don't really know what it's about totally. It's organizing. What does Bella Ciao mean? But it's like a signifier of being a commie, I guess. Even though the Red Scare people would go to Bella Ciao. Like the last night, they would hang out there. Dasha and whatever the fuck. They like hang out at Bella Ciao. It's like, okay, well, is that some kind of alt-right thing? Is that some kind of fucking Reddit thing? Like, what the fuck? Who are these people? How, you know, what? Who's on what side and what the fuck is even, you know, this guy's, he's not, you know, a trans, I mean, I guess you could say he's anti-fascist, but like, there's no such thing as Antifa. It doesn't exist. Like, there's no meetings. There's no Antifa. Antifa is just anybody that like was in the resistance or like protested Trump or protested his policies. That's like Antifa. That's something Republicans made up as a way to categorize who they want to demonize and who they're going to use as an excuse to fucking militarize everything in the country, basically. That's, I mean, I don't really think that their effort to take over is going to work. I think that, like, that's one reason why the discourse and people, like, expressing their real opinions about this is important online, because it's our way of signaling to each other, like, hey, whatever you feel about the guy getting shot, what it represents is, like, something we are frustrated about, and, like, we're just glad somebody fucking took action in some goddamn way. Like Luigi, this is why it was unexpected, right? And there's tons of moralists who are like, you're a bad person if you celebrate anybody getting killed, or the CEO got killed, he has a wife, he has kids, whatever. That's what they said about Trump too, right? In the debate, they asked Hillary, like, what the hell she liked about him, and she said she liked his kids. That's, like, the only thing you can say about horrible people. You know, it's like, that's not a reason why it's, like, bad. Like, the dude was a piece of shit. Like, so it's a similar thing with this, where a lot of the public in the comments, or people, even people making videos on TikTok. I've seen tons of videos that are, like, celebrating. Or, you know, at least, like, have nuance in how they're, like, reacting. It isn't just... Whereas the Republicans are trying to politicize it immediately. Trump is trying to politicize it immediately. And he's going to use it, you know, they tried to turn it into a trans thing, and they want to use it against their political enemies. They want, you know, they want to make it, like, illegal to be against him. Like, to be liberal, to be left. All of those people are going to be, like, terrorists. We're all terrorists. Anybody who had a Facebook post that was sort of, let's say, not empathetic about this, is a terrorist. Well, I saw somebody lost, or it was a Secret Service agent that had some post about you reap what you sow, or something, live by the sword, die by the sword type shit. I don't remember exactly what it said, but he got put on leave or something. So, I don't know. I think they're going to try. Honestly, I think fucking 2 weeks from now, people are not even going to, like, this won't even be a big deal. This will be water under the fucking bridge. They might still talk about it, but, like, who knows what the fucking next thing is going to be. And I don't necessarily think this is going to get them over the hill. These attempts to put the military in Chicago, they're resisting. Chicago's saying fuck no. A lot of these ICE raids, people are resisting, saying fuck you. And so I think that, you know, it is unusual for the bully to get any kind of, like, blowback. And so I think that it is important for the MAGA people psychologically to understand that they are mortal, and that they are vulnerable, and that you can't get away with you can't just get away with everything. You can't just run your fucking mouth and spew bile and be evil like Trump. There are consequences. And people are fed up, and most people don't want this. You know, I think there are way more people who are against everything that's fucking happening. And they're coming from all sides. I mean, this guy was on their side, and he was sort of a dissenter. He sort of escaped and said, fuck you. This guy is a fascist. This guy is, what did he said something about it, all he does is spew hate. It's like, this guy knew what he was doing. He wasn't just like some psycho It's like these are people that have been pushed to, like Luigi. This was like a very capable, intelligent person. And he just been, his life became, it became worth more to do something like that than to like try to live a normal life. More and more people are being pushed to desperate fucking circumstances. And we know everything is fucked up. And people are trying to do whatever they can to like, now people are taking action. And like I said, I really don't think there are enough cops that will turn on us. I just don't think so. I don't think there are enough fascists. I think there are some, but like, I don't think people really want violence. There really hasn't been. I think this was the first instance of like visceral bloodshed, like as a consequence of just Trump politics, amping up the rhetoric, being a fucking prick, being, having no fucking decorum, and their not to mention their policies, which are completely, inhuman and ruining fucking people's lives. And I think this was probably the first instance, maybe, other than, the CEO thing that happened when Biden was president. That was more, I guess, frustration with, healthcare industry, and that's built up over fucking time, and inflation and cost of living and all of that shit was kind of, that was like a shot ringing out in some kind of like class war. And, the conservatives are very smart about how they use these right-wing pundit, podcaster, whatever, radio people, Rush Limbaugh, to brainwash the rural part of this fucking country, the masculine part of this country at this point. Charlie Kirk is a legend. Which way should I go? And I don't know. It's weird because what is to come might be worse. We don't know. People are already sort of like talking as if a civil war is like inevitable. Maybe I just spend too much time online. Maybe I am just doom scrolling too much and I got too much in the fucking comment section and shit. But it seems like it's a foregone conclusion. They made a movie about it. Everybody, oh my God, what's happening to America? America's collapsing. We're in the collapse. We're already in fascism. We're already in a dictatorship. And in a weird way, these assassinations or whatever feel almost like after decades of like, I don't know, no left-wing, of just getting beat up by the right. And no one's fighting back. I think this is what the main complaint people have with the Democratic Party is like they just let the Republicans walk all over them. They didn't codify Roe versus Wade. They didn't pack the Supreme Court. They turn the other cheek. They try to be, they take the high road. And there hasn't been. We've just seen our shit get pushed further and further to the right. And especially since Trump. It's just gotten ugly. It's gotten unlivable. This country has been stripped. We've all been extorted. We're being extracted for maximum profit. The ticket yield could be increased. Our value yield could be increased. We're not working these people to death. They need to get up and get jobs and get rich like us. Or die trying, or be our slaves. Take your pick. The strong people get rich. The weak people die. They become our slaves. Or they become our slaves. If you're submissive, if you're not a fucking douchebag who bosses people around, then you'll just be in the service industry. No one will fight for you. Bullies will run the fucking world. They'll run everything. The most aggressive person is obviously who should be in charge. And so it's been disappointing to live most of my life where like people who represented intelligence, sensitivity just got steamrolled. Somebody like Al Gore. Al Gore was a smart guy. He would have been a good president. And he just got fucking bullied out of fucking politics because he was boring. It's like, yeah, because he's like got autism or something. He's not a fucking clown like the Orange Man or like W. He was like a nerd because he was highly intelligent. He went to fucking Harvard and shit. He would have been a fucking good, smart person to have in charge. But our country doesn't appreciate that. It just wants shock value. It wants pyro. It wants big fake fucking titties. And those people have been winning, even though they're a minority, because of the Electoral College and because they've gamed the fuck out of the system. Because they will play every fucking angle that they possibly can. I mean, in a way, they're not that different than, like, football coaches. If you look at the way the football coach plays a game, like, they will do what they have to do and make the most strategic call that's going to give them the biggest advantage. It's like Mitch McConnell does the same thing. Technically, you know, they didn't really break the rules. They just ran the clock out. You know, when fucking Obama wanted a Supreme Court justice, they just held onto the fucking ball and they ran the fucking clock out. That's legal. It's not really polite. It's not sportsmanlike. But, like, they fucking did it. Whereas, like, Democrats play nice. This beautiful Cleopatra's Needle fucking thing. My poetry antenna. There we go. You can't see, that's totally fucking blown out in the background. And so, I don't know. It's the first time in my life that it feels like there's been any, other than when the guy threw the shoes at George Bush. Remember when the guy threw the shoes at George Bush? And those were just shoes. You know, if he would have got hit in the face with a shoe, it would have been no big deal. But if after fucking 7 to 8 years of Bush fucking bullshit, it felt like, God, thank you. Thank somebody for, like, trying to pie this guy in the face or just do anything that's gonna, like, take something from him. Like, it just felt like those guys just fucking destroyed our country. And people were too dumb to realize it. They got celebrated for it. Even now, people still talk about Bush like he's like some innocent, like, oh, it was really Cheney. Bush was not that bad. He was a moderate. It's like, you're an idiot. You were not there. He's a Christian conservative fundamentalist. Like, even Reagan was not like that. He wasn't really that religious. There was a little bit of that, but it wasn't all about that. But something happened in this country where people just have gotten dumber and more simplified. They've just simplified the propaganda and the belief system of the red states. And this was a guy who could see past that. I mean, I'm not saying he's a fucking hero or anything like that. But what are we supposed to do? You know, what is the revolution going to look like to you? I mean, do you see it happening? Was the revolution going to look like 2020? The George Floyd protests? Was it going to look like, Occupy City Hall? Was it going to look like abolish the police? Is it going to look like Occupy Wall Street? Is it going to be a bunch of people fucking making TikTok videos? Like, there's been so much fucking horrible violence against children in this country. I mean, Jesus Christ. What a terrible thing to do. Like, kids have fucking rights too. They're human beings, and no one gives a shit. And Charlie Kirk was a big part of preventing anything from ever fucking changing about it. And that is horrific. It sucks that we have to make that choice. It sucks that there's people like that who are willing to just suck in the lobby and take all of the fucking bullets up the ass. Because they want attention, because they want power, because they want to be somebody. You know, we had to listen to Rush Limbaugh for 50 fucking years, 30 fucking years. Like, these mass shootings are people acting out who just don't know. They don't know. This is just like they don't feel anything. They want to do something. They want to go out in a blaze of fucking glory like Bonnie and Clyde or something, and have some big movie killing spree, Grand Theft Auto climax, and get famous. It's like being a one-hit wonder at this point. Like, you want to get, but these guys don't even become famous because there's so many fucking mass shootings that you never learn who the fucking people are. It's like it doesn't even matter. It's like there'll be another one tomorrow. Supposedly there's been 350 mass shootings already this year in America. And the Democrats want to do something about it. They try. And the Republicans absolutely will not give anything when it comes to gun control. Like, they won't accept anything. They think that it is, what's the word? Infallible. You know, like, there should be absolute Second Amendment fucking power. And it's like, come on. We all know that fucking, well, but now they don't want trans people to be able to buy fucking guns. So that's the exception. You can buy a fucking nuclear warhead as long as you're not trans. You can buy a fucking belt-fed grenade launcher as long as you're not RuPaul. I don't think RuPaul is trans. RuPaul is like, So, you know, it like I said, it kind of reminds me of the Unabomber. The Unabomber was like this academic. I mean, I don't know that much about the fucking Unabomber, and I'm not like a huge Unabomber supporter or anything. I want to go on the record as saying that. I am not. There are people who are. I definitely know, like, the Unabomber became, like, sort of cool or something sometime around Trump. You know, when conspiracy theories and Alex Jones and shit, I guess, became like punk rock, the Unabomber became like this, like, you know, revolutionary, ahead of his time, like, I don't know. What the hell was he protesting? You know, he wrote some big manifesto. I've taken a look at it. He didn't seem that goddamn smart to me. You know, it's like I don't remember what the fuck it was about. You know, it was about police state or surveillance, or maybe it was about AI. I think it was about, like, shipping the manufacturing, getting rid of manufacturing, and, like, how that wasn't going to work, and blah, blah, blah. And he was sort of, like, at odds with, like, academia for some reason. I don't know if that was, like, his politics. Was that wokeness? I don't think the Unabomber was necessarily woke, per se. I think he was sort of anti-woke, maybe. I don't really know, like I said. But the idea was, he wasn't just some, like, dumbass committing kind of hara-kiri violence out of, like, frustration. It was like he was sort of too highly functioning. He was too smart. He could see the fucking hypocrisy. He could see the road we were headed down. And so his crimes were sort of like these strategic acts that were not arbitrary. They were thought out, and he was trying to attack some kind of system or whatever. And he lived in a fucking shack in the middle of Montana or something. So he was off the grid way before everybody. He was basically like a fucking YouTuber. If the Unabomber had a YouTube page, he'd probably be as famous as Charlie Kirk. He'd probably be some big pundit or something. Oh, it's the fucking Unabomber's on again. Bobby Fischer, same thing. Remember Bobby Fischer? Remember all the shit Bobby Fischer said after 9/11? Well, Bobby Fischer, he got on the radio and was talking shit about Israel. And that was like the end of Bobby Fischer. He was like never heard from again. You're just like, this guy's a piece of shit. He's talking shit about whatever after 9/11. Like, fucking nobody did that. Everybody was so fucking afraid to say anything because we were all scared shitless because of terrorism. But Bobby Fischer is like running his fucking mouth, and they canceled not that he was like relevant or anything, but he got pretty fucking canceled. Now he'd have a fucking podcast. He'd probably have 2 million fucking subscribers. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just trying to put this in some kind of historical perspective. It seems like this is it's pattern recognition, right? Okay? These are pattern recognition skills. What's the pattern here? It's sort of like the strategic, intelligent, disgruntled academic type A. I mean, Oswald was kind of like that, I guess. Oswald went to Russia. He was like a fucking communist. I mean, he wasn't necessarily, I don't think he was like some highly intelligent, disillusioned, person who kind of saw through whatever and couldn't go on. Oswald was a patsy. Whereas, like, I don't think, I mean, my stream yesterday was called The Patsy, but I don't think this guy is the patsy. This guy clearly did it. It's such a weird story, because, like, it's his dad. He confessed to his dad or something. And, it's like they prayed about it, or I think they even went to, like, their church or something. It's this weird kind of father-son. Son, I'm disappointed in you. But I understand. I love you, son. Now you're going to have to go to the death penalty. You're going to have to go to death row, son. I'm sorry. We're going to have to turn you in. That's okay, Paul. It's like fucking Andy Griffith or something. Opie shot Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I mean, we're just trying to put a positive spin on it, okay? It's what you're supposed to do with your life, It's like you're supposed to make lemonade, right? We're making lemonade with this bad news. What can we do? We're trying to look at the bright side here. I'm sorry. I'm an optimist. Call me an optimist. I know it's the Republicans, they hate optimism. They're just pessimists. They hate our freedom, clearly. They hate the leftist freedom. So, I it's just it's who is gonna nut? It doesn't, like, protest doesn't seem to work, or like they just arrest people now. It's like it's gonna be illegal to protest, and so they've robbed us of, like, our First Amendment rights, our right to gather or whatever in public. What is it? There's something in the Constitution about that. Right to public assembly. I'm pretty sure that was in there. And we're not allowed to do that anymore. You can't protest outside the designated protest zone. And so what the fuck are we supposed to do? Just stay on our fucking computers commenting, sharing fucking virtue signals, Instagram stories? Like, I think we lived through the Trump thing one time and we did everything sort of the old-fashioned way. We protest, we gathered in person. You know, the pandemic, it does feel like it was this systematic operation to just, like, split us all into sort of atomized, solipsistic isolation, where it's just like you're on your social media feed all the fucking time. You are brainwashing yourself voluntarily rather than spending time with loved ones or friends. You're just entertaining yourself with InfoWars, trying to learn about it, you know, how we're being fucked, what the hell is happening to us, how to stop this thing. Trying pattern recognition, you know, that's one reason why I watch fucking TikTok. I'm trying to just see the patterns and what the fuck is coming next. And so, I mean, is the slate gonna be wiped clean? We're in the Kali Yuga. Or is it just gonna be, is the worst behind us? You know, a few more of these political, let's call them neutralizations, okay? Let's put some kind of right-wing language on it to make it, to sanitize it. We need to increase our profit yield, our ticket yield, you know? I think our ticket yield could, you know, we see room for growth there. We haven't maximized our ticket yield yet, so I think if we just neutralize some more of the, a couple more of these targets, this problem could fix itself. You know, if we could just get rid of fucking the head bad guy, I think that would, the whole thing would just, the whole body would die. And they tried that. Well, okay, so that guy was also part of the trend cycle, right? The guy that supposedly tried to shoot Trump, which now that this happened, that does look kind of more real or something, because this was real and it was it was kind of a similar thing, I feel like, where, like, the guy was on a roof. He was just this sort of, like, I don't know, frustrated, lone white guy, you know, but they don't have the same, you know, like the Aurora, Colorado guy, or like all of the mass shooters, they felt like kind of haunted before. They just felt like these kind of ghostly, like the fucking Sandy Hook guy just looked like the Scream painting, or like the Scream mask. He looked like the fucking Scream mask. And these guys were not like that. They seemed to have soul, like Luigi seemed to, like, have a soul. That was the reason why he did it. Somebody's got to take action. Who's it going to be? How's it going to happen? I mean, I think they want to do everything they can to use it against, you know, their political opponents. And so in that sense, I'm not necessarily advocating, you know, escalating or anything, at least, but, like, there's more of them than there is of us. And so how do we signal to each other, and how do we actually, you know, for better or for worse, it's things like this pinpoint and dramatize the fucking aggravation. You know, it's like it's a clear, gets through to people. You know, we're not happy. You can't act this way. You can't just rip fucking people off on their health insurance. You can't just dump people off their fucking health insurance. You know, they're gonna kill millions of fucking poor people and vulnerable people, and they don't care. These CEOs don't fucking care. They want a bigger yacht. And so what are we supposed to do? We're just supposed to be like polite and have good manners and be like, okay, well, let's not ever try and like actually, we're gonna vote. You know, people are even fucking like fed up with that. It's like, even voting, it's just like, what fucking good does that do? So what the fuck are we supposed to do? We can't protest. You know, the algorithm is like going to control what the fuck we see. And so, oh yeah, this was another thing I wanted to talk about is like this Larry Ellison guy he just became the richest guy in the world. He just overtook Elon as the richest guy in the world. And his son, this is something I've talked about. This is a running storyline on the live stream. This guy, David Ellison, is taking over CBS, right? And he's the one who fired Colbert. And now they're gonna buy Discovery Warner, which owns, I don't know, a bunch of other shit. And so it's like, and then this Larry Ellison guy, the richest guy in the world, is gonna buy TikTok. Or like he already owns, I guess, the servers. He already owns the American servers of TikTok. And so he's the one that like they're trying to get the Chinese to sell TikTok to. And so him and his son, not only is he going to be the richest guy in the fucking world, but him and his son are basically going to own all of the sources of fucking information, right? And control what we see, more or less. They're going to own, you know, CBS, Paramount, Discovery, Warner, whatever the fuck they own, TikTok. They're going to control the algorithm. And so all that power. Oh yeah, the other thing, right? They acquired Bari. Fuck my shit. Okay, are we back? Yeah. So anyway, I was talking about CBS, right? CBS News has been kind of famous. I mean, 60 Minutes, right? It's sort of like, it's a civic institution. It's been around since what? The fucking 70s at least. And, you know, 60 Minutes is like it's a big part of the American kind of fifth estate, at least on television. Respectable journalism, network, you know, before. So it's legacy media and all that shit. But Dan Rather, right? Remember, he broke the story about Bush dodging the draft and all that shit, his National Guard service, and he got fired from CBS because he was too much of a hippie. Just like with Colbert, and just like with there was some reason, I forget what it was, but Trump sued 60 Minutes. I don't remember why. Some fucking thing during the campaign. You know, they were unfair to him, or something about Kamala. And so he won. He won his lawsuit against 60 Minutes, and he basically ended 60 Minutes, it feels like. And now that this fucking snot-nosed Nepo trust fund kid, Larry Ellison's kid, David, now that he owns CBS, they just bought Barry Weiss's blog, basically. It's like a fucking Substack, the Free Press, which is like, Mamet is on the Free Press and Bill Maher is on the Free Press, so it's like, it's very like pro-Israel. Like it's one of the, I would say, like millennial or younger, it's, you know, like it's it's more of like a traditional left-wing thing, I guess, where it's like, but they're also like hardliners about like the same way that Bill Maher is like, or Mamet, right? Like Mamet used to be liberal, now he's like a MAGA person, and so basically they paid $200 million for this Barry Weiss blog, basically the Free Press, and for a Substack, and so they're going to have Barry Weiss take over the CBS News division. So they got rid of late night. Fuck late night. We don't even need that. But CBS News is now going to be a fucking Substack run by a Zionist. And well, so the Ellisons are also like extremely pro-Israel. And so I think that is part of the reason why they are being given all of this control in the media, and financially. You know, he's sort of one of those .com billionaires that, like, he's famous, but he's not like Bezos or fucking John McAfee or whatever that guy's name is, or Elon. He's sort of like, I don't know if it's because he's not charismatic or something, but like Larry Ellison, he's not even as famous as like Richard, who's that guy, Virgin, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. The guy with the beard, the Virgin guy, UK. So, I mean, very soon, they're going to have, like, a monopoly on what we see and how we see it. And so they can, everything is going to be fucking Fox News. CBS News is going to be Fox News. I mean, I don't know. I guess the people would argue that that's what it was before. You know, ABC News, whatever it was. The legacy media was like the DNC or like the post-war order. They were like America and Israel had a like special relationship, and like most politicians kind of treated it that way. Even the Democrats, you know, they weren't as quite as fucking, you know, they were a little more sympathetic to the Palestinians, I would say. But I don't know what was CBS's, was 60 Minutes like, you know, fucking reporting on genocide and shit like that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how pro-Israel 60 Minutes was, but is it just more of the same shit? That's what I think cynical people believe about the new world order of things as is now falling apart. You know, the new world order of legacy media, U.S. hegemony, imperialism, neoliberal. Well, I guess that would be later, but so you know, that's one thing that's frustrating. Like as a content creator, as a creative, it's just like, how the fuck do you get seen? You know, if everything is going to be kind of sewn up and controlled by pro-Trump sort of right-wing interests, which is what these people are. They fired Colbert. You know, they're going to get rid of 60 Minutes and replace it with basically like a state pseudo socially liberal, but like militaristic kind of underneath, like TV news arm. And also just get rid of the prestige and the power of CBS News at the same time by buying the company, getting rid of Colbert, getting rid, you know, like they probably don't even give a fuck. It's like Tommy Boy. They just want the brand. They're gonna tack the brand on a bunch of fucking like, you know, online content or whatever, YouTube videos. And so it's already dead, maybe. So in that sense, I don't know. Is it just like, here, let's see what Barry Weiss can do with this? But I don't know. I mean, as we see more millennials sort of ascend and take power, it's shocking how many of them are like right-wing. The prominent J.D. Vance, this Ellison guy, Barry Weiss is somebody that like, you know, that's like Huffington Post or something for millennial. You know, these are the people that are like making big deals, that are getting like real power, becoming executives, whatever. It's like, but they all suck. They're all horrific, like extremely right-wing, like chode fucking Nepo trust fund. I don't know. So that's all I'm saying is like it's a teachable moment. If we look at this as a teachable moment, why did this happen? And what does it mean? I think, for people in like the MAGA cult, it is like a sort of a wake-up call. It's a call to arms. But I don't think there's as many of them, and I don't think that they're as badass as they think they are. The whole pose of MAGA is like they're fucking Dirty Harry or something meets, Andrew Dice Clay. But it's like they're pussies. They're all fucking cowards, and like, there are not as many of them as there are of us. Even though the comment section is full of bots and, woke politics has sort of like made people feel like they're all separated. As I was saying before, I think all of the strategies that like played themselves out over the first Trump administration, like we see, like didn't work. And we're right back where we were. We're exhausted. After a little bit of a break during the Biden era, like now we're like exhausted, and we're also like, what the fuck? What do we do? Just hit the streets again? Like they can predict that. They know how that works. Like that's important. I think it is important, but honestly, a lot of those protests go unreported now for the reasons I'm talking about, because people like Ellison own the media. They can have a giant protest and like you're not even gonna fucking see videos of it or even hear about it, because they just don't want it to feel significant. And like, we live in this era of like shock value. The Republicans have like a fucking monopoly on that. Like the Democrats just like really don't know how to use that. They don't know how to use like viral. I mean, Mamdani, I guess, can make videos. That's one of the reasons why he's like a leading candidate, is because he can make fucking TikTok videos. But I heard somebody say Kamala ran the Rock the Vote campaign from 2004, and they are surprised that it lost. And I'm like, that's kind of true. 2004, they did the same shit. They trotted out a bunch of celebrities with John Kerry, expecting people to go, oh my God. It's like, that doesn't work. Like, the people have the power now. People are participating. People are, like, they are comforted and they want to see people like them in the media. That's why people like Logan Paul are famous. And even iShowSpeed, it's like he is like the people that watch him, except he's just like a little bit more intuitive and shrewd and entertaining. He can do a backflip. I feel like if you can do a backflip now, you can get famous, because it's something you can do in a fucking video that like people go, oh wow, it's gonna get some views. Like that's one of the reasons why Speed is famous. He can do a fucking backflip. Benson Boone. One of the only things I know about Benson Boone. Do I know his music? No. But I do know he can do a backflip. Benson Boone can get up on the hood of a car and do a backflip. And I know that. It's like, that's one of the reasons. I know, that's why I know about him. I don't know his fucking music, but I've seen him do a backflip like probably 4 or 5 times. It's like, what is it? I was listening to this. I wrote this little play a few weeks ago about podcasters. Or no, this was a play about my life, because I was sitting there listening to Hillary. There was some speech, Hillary Clinton talking about some fucking thing. She was on some, I don't know why I was watching it. She was on some fucking podcast. And she was saying something about how Trump tapped into the realization, their people. She said this like this was some like brilliant political like flash of genius. She's like, Trump's people tapped into the idea that gamers could be radicalized and turned into like voters. And it's like, she's kind of right. I mean, she's putting it in a way that's like super dry and like clearly something her fucking campaign managers, like that's her problem, I think. But like, that's, you know, how she's getting information about the world. She's getting memos and shit from her people, from her staff. Oh, so our you know, our data shows that there's all these fucking gamers. It's like, you know how Trump found that out? Because his fucking kid is a gamer. You know, that's how Trump goes through the world. He goes through the world like a salesman or like a fucking an entrepreneur. You know, it's like he's fueled by people. He learns from people. He learns from having conversations. He trusts information he gets through the grapevine. He's not, and I don't know, does he look at Truth Social? He watches Fox. He gets a lot of fucking information from those people. From Fox and Friends. He loves the Five. Is the Five still a thing, or did that become Fox and Friends? I'm not sure. In any case, he's getting fucking information from, like, you know, people fucking, you know, telling him first or second hand, or... And I think people like that about him. They think, oh, this is just a guy I could have a beer with. You know, like, this is just a, you know, this is a personable, you know, he's not, like, surrounded by an entourage and, like, a bunch of fucking handlers and fake Hollywood, superficial ego, you think you're better than me, personal assistants, and he doesn't have a team. I remember they said, that's what the people at Saturday Night Live said. They said when he hosted Saturday Night Live, he just showed up, just him. It's like, yeah, he worked at fucking NBC for like 20 fucking years. It's like, of course he just showed up. But then they were like, well, Hillary had a bunch of people. She had a bunch of fucking staff, and it was very like artificial and stilted and this and that. And it's like, that was an indication that she is like a shrew and like a cold ass bitch that no one likes, and he is like a cool guy that has like aura points and Riz and all that kind of shit. Like and subscribe, damn you. I'm gonna get off soon because my battery's at 20%, but go back and watch from the beginning. We're unpacking the America in Crisis. Is Charlie Kirk our John Brown? He's the opposite of John Brown. I feel like he's like a mirror image of that. You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't, is this going to bring like violence back against the left? I suppose it could. I just don't. I think that's, you know, the legacy media, the way it would spin this stuff is like, yeah, it's sad, it's a tragedy, blah, blah, blah. Whereas like now with the internet, it's like you see every side to every story. You know, that's, I think that's going to change the nature of like war and stuff. It's like, we're no, you know, people are not as other as before, where it's like, we don't know who they are. We don't know what they're thinking. We don't know anything about them. They're different than us. They're over there. We're here. They're over an ocean. It's like now it's like you can go into somebody's point of view very easily on the internet. You can see videos firsthand of what's happening in Gaza. You can see firsthand what's happening in Ukraine, whatever it is, on both sides. You know, you can see fucking Russian fucking combat troops, and you can see fucking Ukrainian people doing plays in like a fucking cave or whatever, in a subway. And I mean, ideologically, we've been like super managed into like this polarity. The internet like runs on this polarization where like, you know, it's like the Hatfields and McCoys. We're just getting more and more pissed off at each other. And it's like, why? We don't even, I mean, we do know why. People on the left know why. Like, we're educated. We're not indoctrinated. Like, we understand, like, certain things about what's better for just like the majority of people in this country. Whereas, like, for whatever reason, people on the right are like highly manipulated by church and conservative, and by rich people. The Koch brothers, now these tech billionaires have taken like an active vested interest. What are we supposed to do? Just let them swallow us up into like the fucking surveillance dystopia, the Matrix? Is that what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go quietly into the Matrix? Like, or, you know, it's also like the guy who walked into the BlackRock a few weeks ago, right? That got swept into the rug real fast. You know, they don't want to give these people any attention. They don't want to inspire any copycat type things, because these crimes are getting more and more like potent, and people are fighting back. You know, there's all this fucking rhetoric online about eat the rich and revolution, and it's like, what the fuck do you think that means? You know, like, do you think it means going to your job and paying your rent and making fucking social media posts? Like, what does it mean? I mean, does it mean voting? People didn't even care to vote last time. Does it mean, you know, saying free Palestine a bunch and having a fucking Palestinian flag in your profile? Is that how the revolution starts? And so I don't know. I guess I don't know, you know, the complete, I didn't live through like a time of assassinations or anything, but it usually it feels like the important political assassinations that happened in the recent history were all like left-wing people. The Kennedys, Martin Luther King. You know, they shot Reagan, he didn't die. I think they shot Gerald Ford, and he didn't die. They tried to shoot Trump, he didn't die. So everybody recognizes, like, this country is broken, something has to change. People on the right just want to drive us further and further to, like, dark, nihilistic, accelerationist, like, collapse. They seem to want that. But I mean, that's not like a plan. I think we need a plan. I think that's something like the left really needs, like a plan. It would be smart, because that was the big problem with Occupy Wall Street. What was the demand? It's almost like not having a plan. It's like, if there's going to be a power vacuum and there's going to be a revolution, people on the left need a fucking plan. Like, the right-wing people have a plan. The Heritage Foundation, like Project 2025, those people got their shit together. There's a lot of people who think they can make a lot of money and get a lot of power if they just jack the presidency and overthrow the government, basically, which is what they're doing. So they have a fucking plan, and they're putting it into action systematically. I think things like this maybe are an aberration in their plan. They don't expect it. But there probably will be some kind of power vacuum or collapse. And so the left does not seem organized in any way. The Democrats are like in shambles. No one likes the Democrats. They're less popular than Trump somehow. And so whatever we can do to, if that's what it takes, is single acts that sort of like reverberate on a mass scale, it's hard to do that now. It's hard to go viral. Like I said, these mass shootings just don't really cut it anymore. They don't get the attention they used to get. There's no, Dylan Klebold and those guys were like the Beatles of mass shootings. Whereas, like, it's kind of old hat now. It's dad rock. School shooting is just dad rock. It's like the new thing is political violence. I'm just a commentator, people, okay? I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just watching it happen and trying to pattern
recognize. And, and logistically, what is the best possible outcome for the most people? We all want healthcare. We all want lower cost of living, less, 3 or 4 day work week, maybe. We want recreation and leisure time to spend with our family and friends. We want to have a good life. We want a valuable life. So let's figure out about how to get that stuff as we ride, our demolition to hell. Like nihilism is this fucked up kind of optimism where like people think if it just gets destroyed, then that it'll get better. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off. Just like it'll get better sooner. And it's like not if we don't have a plan, not if we don't let it. That's up to us, And so it's dark. We don't want to use dark tactics. We want peace and love. We want peace. We believe in peace. We didn't kill the guy. It was a fucking right-wing, conservative fucking culture person. It was a rebellion. It was like James Dean. It has strong like Rebel Without a Cause vibes. His dad is like this pussy who fucked everything up, who he believed in, and it was all a lie. And so, you're tearing me apart. You say one thing, they say another, and it all switches back again. So somebody had to die. And I mean, these, you can't promote a bunch of Second Amendment gun positive fucking ideas and not expect violence. Like that's gonna visit those places, these red rural places where there's just a lot of gun culture and war culture and military people. There's a lot of suffering. They like suffering. It's like glamorized to them, That's a big part of Christianity. Is like your suffering is like proof that you're like good. It makes you tough. It makes you strong. Strong